Hello and welcome back to the second episode of the Airbnb Superhost podcast. My name's Neil Harvey, your personal Airbnb Superhost, and in this episode I'll be exploring what is Airbnb. Now if you join me in my very first episode, you'll know that I've been a Superhost with Airbnb for over 9 consecutive years. I've hosted over 2,000 guests from over 40 countries around the world, and my goal, or my why with these podcasts, is to share my knowledge, stories and secrets to guide you into becoming Superhost yourselves and making some mega money from your accommodation. Now I'm going to be giving you my Superhost secrets that helped me generate over £350,000 to date and has enabled me to retire from the JOB. And every one of my Superhost secrets will be relevant to the episode that I'm discussing. So if you want to know my Superhost secret for the perfect room, then just search for the perfect room episode. As today's episode will be about Airbnb the company, you should be able to guess what the secret is about today. We'll also be looking at my success triangle, which is made up of 3 simple points, which is your property, Airbnb, and you. And this triangle, just like my Superhost secrets, will form the backbone to your success. Now, before we go any further, did you hear about the guy who started an Airbnb for horses? He hoped it would bring him in a stable income. Okay, enough horsing around. It's time to understand who Airbnb are, and as my mother used to say, know who you're getting into bed with. So let's take a quick peek under the sheets of the company that you'd be working with. Here's a quick backstory of the company. Airbnb was founded in 2007 with 3 young friends, Brian Chesky, Gebbia, and Nathan Blecharczyk. Chesky had found himself struggling to pay the rent for his San Francisco apartment, and as there was no winning lottery ticket or long-lost rich uncle to solve the problem, he just got creative and he took some action and decided that he would offer an airbed with breakfast. There were people who needed a place to crash over the weekend whilst they attended the Industrial Design Conference just around the corner from him. His offer consisted of 3 airbeds, breakfast, Wi-Fi, and a desk to work at. I always wondered why the company was called Airbnb. Now I know why. Yes, it all started with an actual airbed. He made money. The concept worked. So the 3 friends created a website and helped other people to rent out their spare rooms too. In doing this, they saw a gap in the market for travellers to be hosted in the area they were visiting by locals who could give them a more personalised and authentic travel experience than any hotel could. And this enterprise soon took off. So Airbnb was launched and has been an ongoing success. But what does that mean in figures? We all love facts and figures, so here's some that I've pulled up off the internet. Did you know that there are currently nearly 8 million active listings on Airbnb, which are run by more than 5 million hosts? There are houses, apartments, yurts, domes, tree houses, you name it, all listed on the Airbnb website by ordinary people like you and me who just want to make some money and make a difference to the traveller's experience at the same time. Airbnb statistics show that a host can make at least £6,000 a year, and that's across the whole world. But there are some hosts making £1 million a year through Airbnb. So there is mega money available to be made. And my intention is that after sharing my experience with you, you'll be part of this financial success. You know, what started off as one listing in one apartment now has listings in more than 100,000 cities in over 220 countries around the world. I mean, I didn't even know that that many countries existed. Bonus point if you can name them all. And as for cities, which do you think has the most listings globally? Have a second to think about your answer. If you guess London, UK, then you're a winner. London comes in as the top dog with the most listings. Now, since Airbnb's been trading, they have placed more than 2 billion guests. That's more than the population of the USA. 6 guests check into Airbnb every second of the day, making Airbnb by far the biggest and the most lucrative online property rental marketplace in the world today. And they don't own any of the properties. Now, in the 9+ years that I've been operating with Airbnb, I have literally had the world at my kitchen table. But Airbnb want to be more than just selling available room space for the night around the world. They have a much bigger purpose to their ethos. In episode 1 of my podcast, I mentioned that knowing why you do something is crucial for success. When you know your why, then the what you do and the how you do it instinctively and naturally fall into place. What I didn't mention at the time is that people buy into your why. The power of your why is far more effective than simply what you do or how you do it. Your why is what creates brand loyalty and equally can destroy it. Now, just over a year ago, I was invited to a webinar where one of the founders, Brian Chesky, was outlining what new developments Airbnb were going to be introducing in the future. But for me, the most poignant part of his delivery was right at the end, where he was talking about the company's vision and philosophy. As CEO of the company he created, Brian outlined Airbnb's why. He believed that hosting goes beyond what people currently understand it to be, and he committed to changing that perception. Many people, he said, associate hosting with being like managing real estate or being a short-term landlord, and he totally disagrees with this. Hosting is a deeply human experience. He emphasized that hosts are more than landlords. They become the welcoming face of the city. They shape the guest's experience with genuine warmth. Hotels, he said, are designed to be a one-size-fits-all. You know exactly what you're getting when you go to a hotel room. But by comparison, he talked about Airbnb's commitment to being a heart and soul business, offering far more than a conventional business mindset that you might find in a hotel. He talked about Airbnb's original tagline, travel like a human, and highlighted the huge importance of the human element that nurtures personal and authentic connections that go beyond typical tourism. With so much loneliness in the world, he proposed hosting as a remedy, allowing individuals with curious minds to experience diverse cultures and perspectives, seeking not only to explore, but to deeply understand and connect with people worldwide. Airbnb provides a platform that promotes genuine human connections globally. Now I ask you, if you were a guest, wouldn't you want to be treated in that way, subscribing to a heart and soul business? And if so, why wouldn't you want to be supported in your hosting business by a company that has a why that is actively striving to provide the tools and support to foster exactly that? You know, a question I'm sometimes asked is, what other booking portals do I use other than Airbnb? Well, my answer is none. There are others, but Airbnb does everything I need and more. And I just want to point out that no one from Airbnb is paying me to say this. These are my own personal thoughts and my own personal opinions. So why do I use Airbnb? There are many reasons, but here are my top 5. Firstly, Airbnb does all the marketing for us. We just load up the information to the website, press a button, and bang, our listing is visible around the world. How else can we possibly get that reach completely free? It costs nothing to register with Airbnb. They only make money after you make money first. When you think about that alone, it's a mind-blowing concept. And as I've already said, I've had guests from over 40 countries around the world, so it works. Point number 2. Every guest who lists on Airbnb is insured against damages, ensuring that whatever happens, there's a safety net waiting to catch you. There's no need to take out specific insurance to run your business, no upfront business setup costs, no ringing around for quotes from insurance companies. Just as long as your guests book through the Airbnb platform, you're covered. Point number 3. Airbnb do all the verification of the guests. They do the checking that the guest is a real person and truly exists. And if you look at a guest profile on Airbnb, you will see a little tick that says verified. And this means that the person you're looking at has provided some form of government ID to verify that they are an actual person and they are who they say they are. Now, if a guest has a bad track record, Airbnb will just delist them. So, on the assumption that the guest wants to continue to use the platform, you can be very confident that your guests are going to be respectful, especially if you're a live-in host. And if they are a bit of a dodgy character, you have the option to stop them seeing your listing so that they can't book with you again. And with the thousands of guests that I've literally hosted over the last 9-10 years, I've only had to use this function twice. Number 4. I don't need to handle negotiations over price or have any hassle with payments. All the payments are done centrally. I just determine the pricing for the room and leave the rest to Airbnb. People book, they turn up, they leave, I get paid a few days later. All hassle-free. Point number 5. Airbnb has one of the strongest customer ratings in the industry, with more than 96% of guests being happy with their site, the service, and most importantly their stay, which is a testament to Airbnb's hard work, attention to detail, and most importantly, their customer service skills. So, as you can see, Airbnb have created an incredibly powerful platform that is easy to use and understand, and just saves you so much time and hassle. So this leads me very nicely to my Superhost secret number 2. It's a pretty straightforward one to follow. It's this. Use the tools you have. Don't reinvent the wheel. Your property is what it is. Airbnb is a thriving multi-million success story, so that works. The secret is simply to learn how to use these 2 ingredients to best advantage, and that's down to you. And in my last episode, I told the story about the photographer and the dinner party host to illustrate exactly that point. Check it out if you've not watched that episode. Now, applying my Superhost secret will help you to get the most out of what Airbnb and your property offer. But you've got to start somewhere. Someone once said, if you want to get fit, at least put your running shoes on. And in the same way, if you want to make money by hosting, at least sign up with Airbnb. So I've written another rhyme in the form of a limerick to highlight just this point. To make some extra money, just sign up with Airbnb. To give you a clue, it's simple to do, and the process is totally free. I did, and that's why I've been able to leave the job. The business has indeed been a true foundation for a stable income. Well, I hope this has given you some food for thought on what Airbnb could be for you. It certainly revolutionized my business earnings and my insight on the world. That original airbed needs to be put in a museum, as it has single-handedly launched a business which, as of 2025, is valued at more than $85 billion. Well, join me in episode 3, where I'll be helping you to decide what kind of Airbnb host you are. My name's Neil Harvey. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscription button. Follow me on my socials with my tag SuperhostNeil, all one word, and I look forward to sharing the journey with you. May your rooms be booked, your reviews 5-star, and your hosting human.